Hello everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I'm making some paper beads today because I need some for something I'm working on, a collage that's sort of an ocean theme, and I've got a few shells here and I sort of am trying to mimic the colors of the shells, and also I was going to show you, these are paper beads. These were sent to me by my daughter. She got them at Anthropology some years ago now, but they are paper beads. However, they're so uniform, they must have been manufactured by a machine or something. But they're paper beads. Alright, now when I make my beads, I make them first a day before, like these are already constructed, and then I take them out on my lanai and I varnish them with, usually just with Mod Podge Glossy. Sometimes I use clear nail polish, but these were all done this morning with Mod Podge Glossy, so I'm not going to play with them too much because they may stick together. I tipped them off the sticks just to make sure I could bring them in, but I don't think some of them are quite dry yet. So while I was doing that, I thought I'd show you a couple of tricks I have, if they're tricks. One of the ways I like to make the beads is sort of make several from a sheet of paper, and this is an ad from, let's see, it was from Elle magazine, and I wanted to cut a few at once. So usually what I do, I'm going to make tapered ones, so I sort of start in the middle of, I folded it up as wide as I want, then I start in the middle and I head for that end, and I just keep going. And if it's a little not okay, well then that's it, because this is going to be a bit too long. Throw that away. So I've done that side. Now I turn it the other way. Try and hold it together, and I'm going to cut again from that center face. If I can. It's come apart a little. My folding wasn't the best. Okay, so I'm going to head for the bottom. And that should give me a tapered bead. Now sometimes I use these scraps and make smaller beads, but that's kind of fiddly. I'm not going to do that today. So these are my 4 from Elle magazine. I also have a couple that I've cut already from our local newspaper, the food ads. They make great, I love these because the paper itself, newspaper, is really good newsprint. So I cut that off there, so I've got 2 of those cut out already. And then I also cut a couple from, this is called Daphne, this was Daphne's Diary is the magazine, sort of a craft ladies diary you get at Barnes & Noble. So I've cut that off there. I'm going to cut that a little shorter there. So now I'll just roll a couple and show you how I do it. If I've got any tricks you may not know, I don't know if I do or not. I've got a bit of a cold, so this is like some lemon and honey. Okay, so I've got a skewer here, and I figure out where I'm going to put it, and I'm going to put it about an inch down from the top, and I'm going to start off by putting a bit of glue right on the end, and then fold that over so it's about an inch down. So in other words, it's not touching the stick and getting stuck, I hope. You can never be sure, because sometimes when you squeeze it, it gets down on the stick anyway. So then I roll it, and I roll it quite a ways before I add more glue. It really depends on the paper. If this paper holds together well, then I don't need to roll it too far down. But if it's glossy paper, you usually have to glue it a little more. Before, roll it just a short way and then put the glue on. This seems to be working out okay. So I'm coming to the end, and I'm going to just put a little dab of glue on the end. It's Elmer's glue. Got on a piece of cardboard, and I'm using sort of a toothpick to put it on with. Okay, so there's that one done. I want to make sure it's slipping off. Oh yes, so far so good. Then I'm going to roll it, which is my other trick. I always roll them like that, and that evens out any creases, any folds. Sort of sets the folds, sets the circles, you might say, because they're not folds. And then the glue gets spread evenly too, so it makes a nice sort of bead, and then that's that. So that's that one. And then when that's set and dried, well then I will coat it with Mod Podge or varnish or something. Nail polish, clear nail polish is good. I am trying to mimic these, you know, so this kind of mimics that a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but that mimics that shell. Sort of mimics it a little bit. This one I spray painted, so I'm not really trying to mimic it, but I do like the color. That color is nice. Okay, so now I'm going to use this from Daphne's Diary, which is a little thicker, more kind of like glossy paper. And where's my stick? Here we go. So I sort of figure out where I'm going to start on that. And I know I'm going to start there, so I'm going to put a little glue just across here and down to there, so it's not actually touching the stick. I hope that was in frame. I've got the glue to the side so I don't get all stuck to it. Okay, so I'm rolling it, and I can't roll too much before I have to add more glue. So I'm just adding little dabs, not much. But I do like the graphics on this. It looks like it's going to be good. Coming down to where I'm going to finish it, so I'm going to add a little glue right on the tip, like that. When I make my boho beads or fabric beads, I use a totally different technique, and I will show you that in another video. Okay, so there I've done that. I've rolled that on. Of course, I'm all sticky. Now, the next thing to do is to roll it to make it even. Get the bubbles out, any air gaps come out, and then spread the glue around. If these don't suit me at the ends I can trim later as well. So that's that one. I can also still roll that, actually. Sometimes I have to put more pressure on one end than the other or something. So I can roll it a little more and put that aside. So those are the ones, and this is some beach vines, beach glass and stuff that I have here that I'm also trying to mimic. This actually was found on the beach, but it's a piece of tile. This is some beach glass, and it's cute. It's got some mirroring, and then that's a little piece of tile. A friend of mine gets me those. Okay, now I was going to use from Elle. Now that has a lot of black and white graphics, and then on this side it's kind of like not too brilliant. So I believe I'd have to use this side, because this side I would end up with pretty much a white bead. Don't want that. So I'm getting my placement for this. And here I am putting the glue just on the tip. I'm going to glue it down to there. And I'm sort of pressing it, but I always press along here to sort of make that crease. Then start rolling, and because this is glossy paper, I'm going to have to add more glue. So I'm going to add some glue right there. I have not used Elle magazine for this before, so this is a first. And then I'm going to need a little more glue. I love Elmer's glue, but I hate the bottle. It tips over all the time. It's that narrow bottle, this one. And I don't know, I set it down, it goes like that. It's terrible. Okay, so now I'm coming to the end. I'm just doing the last little bit, and it's going nicely. And this one's actually not going to be too bad. Sometimes I paint these, so if it doesn't kind of match what I'm trying to match, well then, I'll paint it. So first of all, I need to roll it, and then I'm going to take that off before it sticks or something horrible happens. Feels fine though, and it feels actually quite firm. But it's going to take, I would say, pretty much 4 hours or so before I feel they're ready to be painted. Okay, so now let me do the book page beads. Some of them I cut just straight. Some of them I cut tapered. I'm not going to show you those because I don't think I brought a book with me to do the book page ones. But anyway, I'm going to do another one. See what this looks like. This is from Daphne's Diary, and it has some pinky colors on the end. So, and I want this one a little more tapered at the end. So what I'm going to do is cut a little more, just trim it a little more so that it's kind of more like a point at the bottom. And then sometimes, you know, it's a little bit too big there, so I'm putting this in place where I want it. It's going to be like that. And I'm going to put some glue on that part of it. Only there, that's all. Not too much. If I put too much, it may squish out and get on something else. Okay, so there, that's that. So that's done. Now I'm going to start rolling. I know you know how to do this. This is just something for me to do, actually, because I know that this is, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I am trying to match this piece, and I'll show you in a minute, this piece that I'm working on. Not match it, but make some beads for it. And I think I've arrived at that pretty good. So I'm working down on this. And right at the bottom it had some colour. There it has some pink, which I quite like. Just got to put a little dab. Sometimes if you can't get it quite on the end, you can just put the glue right on the bead. I don't put glue all over the bead. I know that people do when it's finished. I don't do that because I like to either use, as I said, Mod Podge or paint them or something. And the glue can interfere with that process. You know, if you paint them all over with glue on the outside. Some people like to do that. They think it firms them up, and it probably does. Okay, so now I've done that. That's that, and I like that. That's going to be cool. That one, look at that. And by the time I put the Mod Podge and the glitter on, now that's all I'm going to show you because you know how to roll the beads now. But this is a picture I'm working on. I like to do a lot of collage things for pictures for the wall. And at this point I've painted a picture of there's an ocean scene, cottage, a bay or something. So I painted the cottage and all the background and so forth. Then I've already gone ahead and I've laid down some textures. This is actually bubble wrap, the small one, bubble wrap on the bottom, and I layered it over some paint so it takes on the ocean colors. Then I've got some scrim here, and I've got some dyed laces and stuff here. And then I found a little tiny seahorse, and I'm going to stitch it on right now. I've got a dab of glue there to hold it. But then I thought, I think some of these beads, if I choose the right colors, they're just going to look great. So I've got that one in mind, maybe one a little bit more like so. And I'm not going to overdo it, just a few. This one's a darker one. Let me see. You know, a little darker maybe, or darker, and I could put them this way. Higgledy-piggledy. Let me see what other might look good. I like the ones that I've made that have Martha's glitter on, so that looks good. This one I don't care for the shape. Let's see how this would look. So yeah, just a few like that, and that's not where I'm going to place them, but I do feel like they coordinate pretty well. And the ones that look like the rocks, which are maybe more like this and this, they would have to be down there somewhere because they're much darker. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put those. But anyway, that's just my little overview of paper beads. And look for me doing some boho beads my way, some fabric beads and so forth, in another couple of days. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.